Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Very, very happy to have you here today on the 19th of September. Whew, time is flying, Denali. My goodness. But
Oh, yeah.
Very, very happy to have you guys here. I see Roger's in here. Welcome. Do keep in mind, guys, check out all our links down below, particularly our FanSpeak page on Facebook. We're having a lot of fun there. We hope you guys are part of it. I see Preston is in here. What's up, Preston? Also hit that share button, please. We are live streamers, so that's what helps us out the most. We do appreciate it. But we're
And
definitely going
hit
to be
the
getting
bell
in.
notification
Oh,
for
yes.
anything, or you know, follow us on Twitter because we always tweet this out, so you can always be reassured when we're live.
That's true. And my Twitter and my Facebook as well are down below. So if you guys need to get a hold of me for anything, like for instance, being guest on the show, just hit that Twitter and we'll get you on here because we are Fanspeak and we love to hear
Yep.
from everybody. But we're going to get into the news momentarily, of course. And do keep in mind, we do have our coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Fan Edition of Drawn and Quartered, and that is actually going to be having Wisdom Comes today. And that's got Cody. Martinez is going to be our guest there. That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next week as well because next week is our 1 year anniversary for Fan Edition of Drawn and Quartered, and we're going to be doing Big Trouble in Little China. Ooh, that's going to be a good one, dude. Yeah,
Hmm.
excellent. So I know a lot of people will enjoy that. I have Obi-Wan Vlog is in here. Yo, hey, Obi-Wan. What's going on? Dennis Parak. Haven't seen you in a while, dude. Just got Kyung Lee's comic, I think. Well, I've been hearing good things about it. So that's nice. I've only heard positive so far, so that's great. But yeah, that's something we need to do, Denali. We need to start reviewing these Indiegogo stuff more, I think. I think we should
Okay.
take one of our shows during the week and make sure every week we do a new one. I know this week coming up on IndieCom TV, of course, we have Todd Maroney in here. But this week's Coffee Aki Habara, I am going to be doing in my top of the week. I'm going to be doing a review of T-Bird and Throttle. So that's fun. But yeah, best movie ever. I don't know what that means, Preston. What do you mean? Oh! You talk about Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, no, I love that flick. But then again, it's kind of a simple rule in Hollywood. If you have Kurt Russell in your movie, it will be good. Finished.
Yeah. Look at Sky High.
Well, I mean, he always improves it, even if it's a crap movie. Like last year, was it? They came out with that Santa Claus movie. It wasn't a very good movie, but Russell made it watchable, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
You know
Kurt
what would have
Russell.
been awesome? It would have been Deadpool and Kurt Russell together as a body cop movie.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah, they could still do that though,
Yeah.
and have him in place of Wolverine shooting Deadpool every 5 seconds. It'd be great.
Yeah. Snake Bliskin and the Murph with the mouth together escaping L.A. again.
Again. Escape from LA gets a lot of flack, but it's not that bad a flick actually. It's got some good stuff in it. But we have Tarsik in here and says good movie. We all agree. How you doing, Todd? Todd?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. What's going on?
We're getting ready to do the news here, just kind of warming up a little bit. I'm just
I
talking.
wanted to
Yeah,
I wanted to add something that you were talking about earlier when I first came in here. I forgot what it was. Dang it.
we were talking about cars.
No, it was right after that.
We're talking about Zach and his beautiful feminine hands.
You
Oh
t-
yeah.
oh, that's not nice. Sometimes, artists have dainty hands
They do.
because, they're not breaking knuckles, turning wrenches or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's true. That's true.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. My whole life I have strode that fence between blue collar and white collar, and I have the hands to prove it. It's weird too because I'm a saxophone player, but I got these stubby little knots, these bolts here on the end of my hand. Oh well. It's affected my speed, but with the saxophone. But I think over time, my maturing has given me more tone and depth to my playing, so it makes up for it.
I
Hmm.
remember what I was going to say.
Uh-huh.
Getting a hold of Chester is not as easy as he makes it sound. So
It,
if you hear him say, "Hey, leave me a message here, here, there, or the other," don't expect it to happen. If you really want to get on the show, contact me. and we'll make it
What a load, dude. I respond to
Oh,
everybody.
oh my God! If it isn't Discord, then forget it.
I
You
see.
might look at your
So you
Facebook.
you expect me to
I
respond
am
within minutes is what you're talking about.
no, no. But if someone says, "Hey, Chester, I really want to get on tomorrow," you better go to someone else. We'll
Uh,
help you out.
all right.
But you're more
Well,
than welcome to contact me.
I see.
More than welcome.
I see. Well, it's
right.
true. I mean, expect it to be a day or so, because you know what the thing is. I spend online about 2 hours a day, and I'm with you when I do that, right? Because the rest of my time I'm running around in the actual world doing stuff. I'm nowhere near the internet. I actually don't. I don't even have a phone. You know that, right? I don't have a smartphone. I don't own one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
right.
telling the truth
Or
about that, by the way.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
or or the easiest one is join our Facebook page, and there's always a announcement thread that you say, "Hey, I want to join up."
That's
Just
true.
post there, and I always look at that place as well.
Eric says, so true. What do you know about it, Eric? Shut up. But anyway, thank you for being on, Todd. And hello, Zach. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing,
I see you're
everybody
drawing
doing
again. What are
tonight?
you drawing today?
Getting those sketch cards ready
Oh, sweet.
for
Yeah, now that's
the
cool,
stuff,
dude.
you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, I had a little bit of a bump yesterday. I got a shout out in the middle of the drawing quarter last night, and so some people checked me on. They were like, "Wow, this is cool," and they backed me. So I was like, "Oh, hey,
how
more
did
sketch cards."
Siege do
How
yesterday?
exciting!
She killed it.
Yeah, she's a good
Oh
artist,
my
dude.
gosh. And she was, you know how she was so worried that she was like, "Oh no, I don't know how I'm gonna act. I'm so worried. I'm so nervous and stuff." And she was on there and she was ragging on him hard.
Good.
Her wit was on point, and I would actually, you should go like watch it, Chester, because she gets some really good hits in on Mike and John, and it's brutal.
How did she do? Where did she place?
She actually placed fourth.
Nice.
And yeah, no, it would, and she had like 30 votes.
Sweet, dude.
She did
She's a
really,
good
really good.
artist. Yeah, and
No, yeah,
she surprised me. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't expect anything, but she has really good form, dude. Very solid artist,
hmm
actually.
yeah, no,
So that's cool.
She is. She looks like she's kind of trained because the way she works out a picture.
hmm
You know
hmm
what I
You,
mean?
you know what she really looked like to me? Really, I felt like Cat actually, with her just clean, super ultra clean lines, but but has maybe more character, more
hmm
more depth of character. But it really reminded me of Cat quite a bit. I mean, just super ultra clean lines. I mean, I saw no. It's like nowhere racing and stuff is what it looks like in the end. I'm sure there is, but it looks just like as if one line which is thrown perfectly on a page. It's a very interesting style. There's all kind of styles, like Zach's style is very different like that. There's a lot of hatching and different things going on, and you have a clean line style too, Todd. Though.
Yeah, I do. I have my form is clean, and I think it looks cleaner than what you make it sound because I try to have it be accurate. So when something's crisp and accurate, it kind of has that clean look to it.
Yeah.
I just don't overdo my when you're trying to round the figure and create one side is darker. I don't overdo my line work. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not a Jim Lee where he's cross hatching and angular doing things, and you're doing that. That's basically obviously the dispensation of light, and you're trying to create form with it. So you're
hmm
trying those lines have to go a certain direction to make it look like, hey, in this area it's darker, but it's also round.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good trick of light is what it basically ends up being.
Yeah. No, I appreciate all of it. I like it. And I'm glad she did well. It's pretty cool.
hmm
And Booster actually makes a pretty good comment in here. He says, or maybe contact me. I have no life. Actually, contacting Booster is probably the quickest way, actually, I would think, because
hmm
Booster lives online. He is one of these millennials or young millennials, and his life is the internet. So that probably is the quicker way. True, true, true. Do apologize. I'm an old dude. I'm not used to this internet crap. I'm used to talking to people and getting stuff done. All right, Todd. God.
No, what do they call it, Chester? An otaku or something?
Mhm.
They never leave their homes
Yeah,
and stuff.
Booster's an otaku. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He's like many layers of an otaku, actually. Yeah, in between the fat layers and the smell of gin
Oh.
and all those other layers.
You know who I wish had joined us because I just finished his logo last night is DeWolf. DeWolf has a new logo. I'll bring it up and you go along and it'll eventually be something you could show off. But
Okay, yeah, that's cool. No, DeWolf's got his ideas. He's gotten involved with what you're doing in Indicom TV. He's quite excited about it, so that's really cool for you guys.
yeah,
Yeah, excellent. But once again, if you guys haven't checked out the IndieCom TV, definitely do go support that. Do keep in mind that tomorrow is our day off here, and usually I'm not available because I'm up running around running the Awita Kids English Club type of thing. But I actually don't have. I'm kind of in like a 1 month break, so I actually will be doing the Pontificators on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Art T. Bear. And even if I'm not there, those guys going to be doing it, I'm sure. So definitely go check that out. That's a fun thing where we kind of get in depth into nonsense, I would say, which is awesome. Chester is caveman lawyer, or is that too old a reference too? Nah, dude, I'll take it. Thank you. Amen for old dudes. Thank you very much. All right. All right. Well, anyway, let's get into our news here, guys. I'm going to
Yeah,
go ahead and share this. And we do have some interesting thing. A
share
lot of
away.
corporate news today, Denali.
Yes, yes, yes. Because all the other news was just advertisement package and pretend news. That's a lot of things are.
All right, so we're going to start out with bounding into comics here, Denali, and let's go
All
ahead and
right.
get into it.
All right, so from Bounty into Comic, a new plot leak is talking about the Suicide Squad. One of the plot leaks rumor to be is
Mhm.
that their mission is to go to a South American country to retrieve an Martian alien that two country are fighting with over about.
Oh.
So that's what this thing's about.
All right, so we'll talk about Martian Manhunter here, and now
Mm-hmm.
correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, they can change the story. That's fine, but correct me if
All
I'm
right.
wrong. Martian Manhunter was on Earth for a long time before anyone knew he was an alien, right?
Um,
He was he
if
he
you're
insinuated
if you're following, the canon of, you know,
Martian Manhunter. Yeah,
DC,
yeah.
right, right. But remember, they can reboot it, recon it, whatever.
I suppose so, but I kind of like the idea that he kind of insinuated himself into human life. He became he was a cop. I think he was a black cop actually, wasn't he? Pretty
I think
sure.
so. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I kind of like the way they went with that. And of course, this picture image they have up here, it shows definitely a black Martian Manhunter for sure, which
Hmm.
is fine. A black guy doing it. Oh, by the way, yesterday's comics news today was copyright struck. You know why? You know why? Because I
why?
watched another YouTube's theme song of Buck Rogers. Now, hold on a second. You are going to copyright strike me, but yet that YouTube channel is fine when they have the entire theme song sitting up there? I mean, come on.
That's weird.
Come on. And it's simply because I let it run for like 7, 10 seconds before I paused it instead of pausing it like 4 seconds, right? But it's like, what are you doing? How can you take my entire video and copyright strike the whole thing for showing a 40-year-old theme song for a TV show, but yet I can go on YouTube and find them all over the place and there's no copyright strikes at all? What's the deal with that? Explain that to me, right?
That is weird, huh?
Yeah. It's almost as if it was orchestrated or something. But I doubt it. They probably have no recollection of me at all. But yeah, no, whatever. This is a very different Martian Manhunter. It doesn't mean it'll be bad though. But boy, it sounds like they're throwing the kitchen sink at the Suicide Squad, dude. I mean,
It has to
everything.
succeed. Yeah. I mean, they're changing the whole thing. The new Suicide comic book, the new Bird of Prey comic book. I mean, this is their last shot kind of deal. if you
For
get
the
what I
for
mean.
I think so. No,
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. And
No, I mean, you mean Last Shot as far as a movie?
to try to save the
What do you
franchise,
mean
I'd
Last
say,
Shot?
yeah,
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 yeah.
The Suicide Squad franchise?
yes,
I don't think it's. I don't know. It's why? Why save it? I don't know.
I
It's
wouldn't
see. Here's one
bother.
thing I
Yeah,
haven't liked. It it had its place, right, as a good story. Like, hey, we got to put you guys to get together for this reason. It can only be you guys because you guys are evil as hell. So we'll throw the bunch of you together, and you're gonna have to go do this. That makes sense. You don't overdo it. It doesn't need. It shouldn't be a monthly. It should be like, oh crap, we need the Suicide Squad, and then all of a sudden, it's a 6 issue thing. And if they did shit smart, sorry, if they did this kind of stuff smart, they might actually, it might actually just have a better life.
well,
Things aren't. I don't think things get looked at right when they start and stop because they get canceled. Obviously, they stop because they get canceled. I don't
right.
think that the character ends up getting I don't know, like a good cred. Like would you go see an Iceman movie?
No,
No.
not now.
Not at all. You
No,
stopped and start and stop and start and it's like no, there's nothing there. I can't think of one point in his history where I go, I'd love to see that particular arc of Iceman, you know? So when they do this, it doesn't help. If you lead into a story where like it was playing out in some other books, if it was done really smart, right? It's in the Justice League, and the Justice League can't handle these guys or whatever, this group, and then all of a sudden you need some really badass heroes or villains who have really, because not all of them have superpowers, like uh
right. It's more street
Harleen.
level. True. Yeah,
Yeah,
Harley's
right.
useless. She serves no purpose whatsoever.
Period.
She's only in there because she's
Comedy.
cute and she's got nice tits and ass, I guess. Although nothing against Margot Robbie, but the age is hitting her like a hammer. So she doesn't have much longer to rely upon that, you know. Luckily for her, I'd say she does have some acting chops as well, though. But
Yeah.
no, Suicide Squad is stupid. They tried to make us make all the villains sympathetic. That's not the point. I mean, the only character they did right in that movie was Boomerang. One character, maybe El Diablo. He was all right, but once again, it's sympathetic. They shouldn't be sympathetic. They should be evil, bad people who are forced in a situation to do something, and they completely
Didn't
missed the
Boomerang
point.
like die in the
The
first like, 30
the
seconds
villain
of him?
No, no, that was Slipknot. No,
the
Bumblebee
the
Oh,
was
okay.
awesome.
the other issue I have with that movie was the villain setup.
Yeah, no, it
That
was
I
not
don't
right. Yeah,
It was terrible.
they're
Like, I
bad
didn't
guys.
even believe that she was anything that would, granted, yeah, she was, putting a dark cloud over the city, but you didn't set her up as that she'd be that powerful.
No, they
I didn't
tried to.
feel it.
They put her in a cage surrounded by a bunch of armed men. Why? Why? I mean, I'm an
And
old dude and I go in and throttle her and put her down. What the hell you need nine armed guards around her? She's not dangerous at all.
Mhm.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
Nick
ex-psychiatrist that has never had any sort of
combat training.
training
Yeah.
whatsoever.
It's ridiculous. I mean, Huntress or Batgirl, things like that, they make more sense, right? But Harley Quinn's never made sense. I never cared for it. And the only reason she even exists because they were doing the animated series and they wanted to have a little more depth to the Joker so they could use him more often. So they gave him a girlfriend, right? I mean, this is how we get Harley Quinn, and it's just because she's drawn so sexy and cute and crazy. She's very sensual, right? Nixie says she is 29, Chester. Yeah, yeah, she's not old. But she is aging very quickly. Unfortunately, some people do, right? I have no trouble with Margot Robbie though. Don't misunderstand me. I think she's fine. She did a pretty good job in that skating movie, talking about that controversy and stuff.
Tanya Harding.
Yeah, Tanya, I
Yeah.
think she
Yeah.
did a pretty good job with it. I have no trouble with her. She's just not. Unfortunately she's not aging well, and she's also kind of on the line, right? Like you saw her in that Tarzan movie. She needed a hamburger or two desperately, dude. I mean, she was like anorexic skinny in that movie. And here in the Suicide Squad, she was fine. She had nice shape. They kept her. They made her very sexy from every angle they shot at. But then again, it doesn't make any sense. She's completely witless. She's a completely witless idiot who has no idea. That's not Harley Quinn. I don't even like Harley Quinn, but it's not Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is extremely clever and smart. She's a psychiatrist. She
And
uses her
and
sexuality to her advantage, not accidentally. It's so stupid.
and unfortunately, she didn't get a good setup either.
No, dude.
Because
It's
her
dumb.
story is actually a good story. You know what I mean? As far as like what you'd buy in, as far as visually watching, her origin, her setup would actually be something that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if
Mhm.
the
But
torture and
there's-
the breakdown from the Joker, and that could be a
right,
dark, awesome movie, dude. You're right. Yeah.
right.
But they won't
Mhm.
do it.
Because they also made the Joker in that movie a joke.
Oh no,
You
it
know,
wasn't
and
the Joker at all,
he's terrible.
dude.
I know he was terrible.
They had a
He's like a
guy.
nightclub thug owner or something. It's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
right,
exactly.
right, exactly. They had a guy in there talking to the Joker, going to, talk
Common,
about him about business. What? Have you never read a
Mhm.
Joker comic ever? I mean, that's
that
absolutely not
common. They
Joker.
had Common talk to him. Which is
Yeah,
funny.
right. But it's dumb, dude. That's not Joker at all. You don't have a meeting with Joker. I mean, what the hell, dude? It's just complete lack of understanding of the characters. Complete lack. And it just was an actual bomb. And then, of course, you don't even add in the story that they put in wasn't even good. I mean, you can't take these street level people who have no ability. The only one who had any real ability is El Diablo, and you're going to throw them against a goddess. What?
Mhm.
God, it's so stupid, man. But it sounds like in this one they're going to try to rectify it because every stupid little villain you can imagine and everything but the kitchen sink has been thrown into this movie. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's
that's
it's gonna be either gonna be a freaking awesome film or it's gonna be a trash fire. There's nothing in between in this one.
yeah.
It's a either or kind of situation.
No, that's very true, Nick. That is very, very true. Yeah, no, that's right as well, Cult Film. Anyway, let's move on. Every time we get on a Suicide Squad, we go into a long rant on it because it's just so disappointing, man. And it's too bad because the build up was great. Those trailers they put out were awesome. I mean, all they had to deliver was just a solid popcorn movie, right? And that
Mhm.
it would have been appreciated. But nope, nope, they had to screw it up. Fine,
Yeah.
fine, Denali. God.
All right. From Bleeding Cool, DC Comics are discontinuing their comic shop co-op advertising program because nobody uses them.
Okay, explain this to me because I have no clue what you're talking about. God, Harley Quinn
It's-
again. And that's a horrible, stupid cover. Look at how bad this art is. Look at how this is the cover of a DC comic. Look at this cover.
No,
Look at
no,
it.
no, 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 no. No, that's Amanda Conner, and her
No,
covers
the
are actually
the
higher.
art is Chad Hardin. Hardin.
Right inside that cover is drawn by Amanda Conner though.
Oh, the writer actually did the cover. Well, it's crap.
And
It's crap. Stick to writing, lady. But explain to me what this is, Denali, because I don't get it.
So basically, they partner up with the retail shop to promote their things, and either they paid the comic book shop advertisement space for them to get their wares there, promotional stuff, posters, all those bags of goodies kind of deals.
Mhm.
And it was a means to kind of say, hey, if we give you money or we pay half of the advertisement costs for this, we'll sell more books. Well, basically, a lot of shops just no, a lot of shops didn't use them, and the few that did just used them to kind of bolster their own sales and not DC sale. So as AT&T is looking at the books and everything, they're saying you're not making any money off of this. So that's in the chopping block.
I see. So
So
I get it. Yeah, because we
mhm,
we have to remember AT&T is on the hunt for cost cutting with everything they just bought from Warner Media. Yeah, I get it.
so is this their point of sale stuff too? Like sometimes they'd have a special issue in its own little
yep,
box. Yeah,
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
Which
No,
I gotcha.
normally the shop would be paying for that, but they with this program, um, DC would be either paying a portion of it or all of it for those promotional things.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it used to be you order this many, of this issue. Say it was a number one,
mhm,
we're gonna send you a special point of sale box that
right.
you can display it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
for
Yeah,
Justice
yeah.
League 1 or whatever. And that's how it used to work. But,
Well,
Yeah.
they're turning
um,
their back on the retailer anyway, dude. I mean, they've been doing it for
you know,
years. So
it's unfortunate.
there's a
It
reason
just made,
why we've seen literally thousands of comic book stores close. Literally thousands. It's not just the horrible comics coming out. It's just the relationship between the comic book companies and the businesses are deteriorating, and this is just a further deterioration because ad cost is ad cost, right? But AT, what's going to happen is AT&T is going to cut everything they can find, and then they'll add things later, I'm sure. But I get it. I get it. And Nick W says Amanda Connor's husband is Jimmy Palmiotti. They ruin everything they touch at DC. It's interesting. What do you think about that, Todd?
I don't agree completely.
Okay, but dude, I have to
Jonah Hex
say,
was good. Jonah Hex was good.
yeah, but this piece of art I'm looking at, it's horrible, dude. Her proportions aren't right. The lines aren't good. I mean, if this was an indie comic, fine, because with indie comics, we're looking at many different aspects of why we like it. But this is freaking DC, dude, and that's a cover. There's no way, dude. There's no way. It's just
Yeah.
it's
That was a
really
cover.
bad.
Yeah. That was also the same type of cover for the Suicide Squad that you were railing against a
Yeah,
couple
but
months back.
I mean, look at it, dude. She's ugly as sin, right? Her body proportions are completely off. The lines are wrong. I don't know why. I'm not an artist, but I know it's wrong, right?
Because
Actually,
we've
the
been
proportion of
staring
the
it for the last year.
yeah, well, I don't know, dude. I mean, it's just really bad piece of art, dude, and I cannot believe that it was put on a cover. But then again, I guarantee you this is the A cover. I guarantee you. And the B
Yeah.
cover is probably a lot better. And that's another tactic
That
that's disgusting.
that's yeah, that's what they always do.
Yeah.
I think there was a discussion about this
Well, I
months
think this
ago as
one
well.
had like 6 covers. This particular issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that nonsense, dude.
Nick C also says, "What is this rumor about AT&T downsizing DC the end of October? Is that true or false?" So,
The 25th through the
Oh yeah.
28th.
They are downsizing. We know that's
Here.
true. Yeah, it is
yeah,
true.
Well, I keep hearing about this, but
Yeah.
it's gonna. I think they're gonna clean out some management. Is what I think they're gonna do.
Yeah, but they're gonna, like I said, AD&D is gonna come in. They're gonna hack as much as they can off Warner Media, and then we'll see what they do. Because if they're actually planning on keeping it, they'll add things later down the road to make things more efficient. They will. But we've had this conversation here, and I think the consensus with us is, many other people online, is it really looks like AT&T with its change of management is actually just going to chop Warner into pieces and sell it off, dude. I mean, they're just gonna try to
yeah,
make
Yeah,
profit off the
I would
sale.
agree, and that's why I think you would go after management, chopping, slice it in half, and then you get a better return when you
Possibly.
sell it off.
Yeah.
Such and such. But you'd still have to do that. It's not like it's going to happen right away. You'd still want to do that a year in or two, and then
well, I
sell
mean,
it.
we had already articles talking about editors leaving, senior editors leaving DC to
Yeah.
other companies recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that stuff is coming down the pipeline.
Well, maybe they'll fire
Um,
Didio. That would make me happy, along with Bedness, and King. That would be good. All of that would be good. Yeah. But let me see here. P.S. Melter says it's sad that comic book shops keep closing. Yeah, dude, it is sad. But it's been absolutely apocalyptic, and the
right.
number of shops that are closed. I mean, it's outrageous.
Been 50 years, 60 this year, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, they keep mentioning, they make offhand, oh, a dozen comic book shops or so have closed. No, dude, it's thousands, literally. It's really bad. Let's see. Cult Film Video says, and DC normally has better art than Marvel. What do you think about that comment there, Zach?
DC has better art than Marvel.
Yeah.
I would say I'm biased towards DC because of Batman,
Hmm.
but I have to say that I own more Marvel books than DC because of the art.
Hmm.
Um, the and I would say right now the only thing that's really saving DC is two names, which is Sean Gordon Murphy and Kenneth Rocafort. and those are the only two artists that I really enjoy looking at their art from DC. So
Those two guys aren't saving DC though.
No, they're not.
No.
And I guess it depends
But
on
they have
the era,
they have
doesn't
a
it?
yeah, but they have at least 12 really good artists over there.
mhm.
The guys that are on like for instance Jorge Jimenez on Justice League. Jimmy Chung did a few issues of Justice League. I'm not sure where they're moving him to.
Well,
I think he's coming out with a new book.
Mm.
There's Rafa Sandoval, who's now on Flash, but he came from Green Lantern. Um,
Alex
there's more than just
Alex
those
well,
guys.
also Dustin Nguyen.
Melvi.
Dustin Nguyen is
Yeah.
for DC, right?
Well, I don't know if he is currently. I think isn't he the Ascender guy?
Yeah, but he did a thing. It was like young. It was like I don't know. It was like chibis of all them when they were kids or something. I can't remember what they did. Or no, there was like
Oh, the
an elementary
multiverse
school.
thing.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
multiverse thing that he did for them. But that's still really beautiful watercolor art.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
DC.
yeah.
So
That's good to hear, Eric. I'm glad to hear that's true, and I'm sure that is true in certain places. Yeah. Overall, there is a loss, but I'm glad to see that St. Louis is a comic book town. It's nice. And and I also think with that point there for Cult Film Video is a lot of people give CB Sobalski a lot of hard time, and deservedly so, because he didn't fix anything. I mean, he didn't make the situation better. But one thing he did do was pick up the art, because before CB came in, the art was really bad at Marvel. It was ridiculous, ridiculous. But CB has absolutely increased the art level, even if we might not like it. Like for instance, the male She-Hulk. You might not like the art or the principle, maybe is what I should say, but the art's really good. Marvel has picked it up, but I would agree that over the past 5 years, Marvel's art has gone straight to hell. I mean, Exhibit A, Squirrel Girl. Exhibit B,
You-
the new female Hawkeye. Shall I go
do-
on?
But look at Conan. Have you been looking? Like I only look in it. I haven't been had time to read it, but the Conan book looks really great.
I have read it.
The Ron Garney artwork in the Sword of Conan
Yeah,
is
no, it's good.
also looks
It's good, and the
good.
writing is good too.
They,
It's really Conan. Yeah.
Mike Diodato left Marvel because he walked in there and said, "Hey, I want to do the Conan book," and uh, and they said no, so he left.
Oh wow.
That's why he retired from Marvel. Yeah, because they told him no, and he thought all these years I've been doing jumping around doing whatever you guys ask. I want to draw Conan, and they said no to him. And guess who put in? They put in for fill-in issues, which I think is ridiculous. Patrick Zurcher.
Hmm.
He did a fill-in issue recently of Conan. I'm like, I would have rather seen Mike Diodato.
Interesting.
But that's just a little back news that I had
Mhm.
happened to come across.
Yeah, no, I agree with this, Eric, as well. The Fantastic Four is not good, dude. Yeah. I mean, but there's a lot of stuff that's not good right now. And that, of course, is the problem. And the reason it's not good is because they're thinking more about their politic than they are just telling good stories, man. But art is important. It simply is. I get a lot of people saying, well, style, or, trying to support this kind of crap I've been sitting in front of you and torturing you with the whole time. And no, dude. No, it's comic books. It's a visual medium. The art needs to be really, really good. Now, if you have an indie book where the art isn't as good, and there's fun story, it can be successful. But we understand and we forgive it because it's an indie book. It isn't this machine that has the ability to grab every great artist and put them on something. But this is DC, and there's no way that passes, dude. No way. Next. Well, God, why is there more crap on my screen, Denali?
Well, it's kind of funny, but this
It's
is from
interesting.
Newsarama. DC's Birds of Prey, which was going to be a tie-in comic book by Brian and Lee, who did Batman Damn, were canceled, and now it's being resolicited as a black label with a new artist. And Lee's been taken off of that um, book for whatever unspecified reason. I don't know what the deal is, but I just found it funny that he was supposed to go for Flash Forward, which was the sequel to Hero from Higher, and now they put him on Birds of Prey, and now they took him off of Birds of Prey.
Mm,
It's kind of interesting that they're kind of pushing him away from any comic books recently. I think they're still kind of salty about the Batwing kind of deal.
Wow, and it's not even his fault.
Are you talking
Uh,
about Lee Bermejo? No,
Ye-
I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Yes,
yeah,
they
but
took. Oh, he was going to do this book, and they took him
yes,
off.
yes, because it was rated T, and then they canceled it and released it under the Black label with a new artist.
Yeah, that whole Bat Wang thing, that's not his fault, though. I don't
no,
think
it's
that has
not.
anything to do with why he would not be on this.
God,
But you do know why they're doing the Black label, right?
no, why?
You know why this even began is because it's sort of a test to see, like, hey, can we bring old fans back that are yelling at us about the nonsense and the crap we have, and now they're doing mature books.
Oh,
It's one
oh,
thing I talk about, experimentation.
yeah.
Black Label is an experiment to see if, because we were for a while now we're making books for girls. Well, no, they're not selling.
Mhm.
So let's see if we can attract some older readers back to these superhero comics by doing more mature books and sort of storylines that either fall in canon or don't, and it actually the sales support it.
Well,
So
now,
they what they do is slap Black Label on a bunch of other things that were already didn't come out through the Black Label, but if you look at the White Knight thing, they slapped Black Label on it. You know,
well, yeah, but this is supposed to be made for adults. The black label here for Birds of Prey,
it is.
and
It is.
what's going to be adult about it? What is it? Lesbian sex or cutting the peni? I mean, really? You know this is going to be so woke, it's going to drip, dude. I mean, come on, right?
See,
And then, but look at this
Legit.
cover. Look at this right here. Actually, you can see it better on the top one. I mean, this once again is cover number 1, right? Look at it. Is it the greatest art? No. Look at how the legs are off proportion. This is not another not good piece of
no,
art for a
that is not a
cover.
bad piece of art. That
It's
is
not
not.
bad, but it's not great either. It's a cover for your number 1, and that's what you're going to put it in. Oh, I'm sorry. This is cover A, isn't it? Let's take a look at cover B. Oh, wow, much better. And even this isn't really good. The perspective on Huntress is not great. But
I thought Harley's legs were canaries.
right, even this B isn't great. But the A is certainly less. But I'm just saying, I'm really getting disappointed with what's coming out in the art from DC recently, dude. And I don't understand why, because they have killer artists over there. But why are they doing this? This is not good enough. It's not good enough, dude. It's plain and simple. It's not, especially in number 1. I mean, come on.
Who is?
Yeah.
It looks like Emmanuel Lupacino. She's really good.
Yeah, you say so. You say so.
That I don't find
This is
that much
amateur,
wrong with
dude.
this.
Look at it. It's amateur.
Um,
It is, dude. You know your art is way better than this, Todd. Come on.
you think you're being really harsh today. I don't know.
I'm not
Did
being
you
harsh. It's
did
true.
you
Look at it, dude. Look at it. It looks amateur.
coffee?
It doesn't look professional. Look at it. I mean, look at it. I mean, Chad, do you disagree with me? It's amateur, dude. Amateur hour over at DC.
I don't know. I can't read who did that one. It
Let's
looks like
see.
Ivan Reyes,
This is
but
Ivan
it might not.
Reyes. It is right here. This
Oh,
Ivan Reyes. Yeah.
my eye is good, isn't it?
It is, and I'm glad you that you know those things. But it's not horrible. I mean, certainly I've seen worse, but it's just not up to grade. I think the stuff in the background is way better than the stuff in the foreground, right?
Hmm.
It's not what I
It
expect from
works
DC Comics, dude.
occasionally.
It's just not.
No.
And I think this is maybe the truth to the comment about DC has always had better art than Marvel. I don't know that that's true from an independent book, book to book, but overall, I expect more from DC than I do Marvel, and maybe there's something to say with that, you know.
I think both companies have about 12 really good artists, and that's just
Yeah.
about it.
That's right. They got freaking Jim Lee sitting around, and what is he doing? He's not. He spends most of his time on YouTube doing great little draw along things. But what is he doing at DC? He's certainly not in charge of anything. He's not
Wait,
taking
he's doing the
responsibility for
JSA.
anything. Yeah, he is.
He's
But I
doing.
mean, can't he oversee more? Can't we have some quality control from Mr. Lee? But I think the point I'm making, and maybe the chat is making as well, is that he's just a figurehead. He has no authority whatsoever, which is sad, really. You know. But anyway, God, moving on.
So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. So we're entering into some corporate talk here. Apple takes a big swing at gaming as subscriber service arcade launches. So they're trying to do the triple threat. We're doing subscription. They have the subscription for music, this Apple TV Plus, and the now video game. So most likely, what they'll probably do is bundle those three subscriptions up, so you can have your music, video game, and Apple Plus in a
Well,
affordable package of whatever ten
are
ninety nine.
yeah,
We'll
but are
say
these things really video games or are they mobile apps?
they're mobile apps,
Yeah,
but
right.
a
They're
lot
not
of people
actual
get
video games, right?
well. It's a video. It's a game. It's on mobile,
Yeah, sure.
and it's
Which is
good enough.
fine.
It,
Women
yeah,
like this stuff, and that's cool.
This this is this is whatever kind of news, Apple news. I heard Apple might buy Sony, by the way.
Hey,
yes,
that'd probably be a smart move. For It would be good for Sony, I think, because
Yeah.
Sony's on their knees in every department. So
Hmm.
but
right.
yeah, no, we know Apple is trying to make their push into stuff. Not Apple. I mean, Apple is trying to make their push into stuff, but I'd rather see Amazon buy it. To be honest with you,
I think
but
Disney doesn't care who buys it. Sony, somebody as long as somebody does buy Sony,
so they can
because if that happens,
renegotiate. Yeah.
no, because if Sony is bought out or bought by somebody else, then the rights for Spider-Man and any other franchise that they hold reverts back to Disney
Mm. Yeah,
without
I
paying
agree,
anything.
Cult. Yeah, yeah. Logical Gamer
Coincident enough,
says, no,
that's
go ahead.
another. No, no, I was saying coincidentally, that's another article we were going to talk about as well.
Oh, where we'll get to it.
I
Uh,
jumped
Yeah.
the gun. So
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. A logical gamer says, I can't tell the difference between the Birds of Prey cover and anything else from Marvel. I am a normie though. Well, you know what? We are saying that none of them are really up to par. I mean, consistently. There are some good covers that came out, like that one, the controversial one, the Black Label with the Bat Wang in it. I thought the art in that was stunning. Just beautifully done. So there is good art to come around. We're not saying it's all crap, but there is obviously holes in the veil, isn't there? But one thing I can say about this, which is cool. Apple has its Apple Store, and them getting more directly involved in making games. I think it's fine. And one thing I have to say that's great about mobile gaming is it has pulled women into video games. Because before that, it's not something you'd ever see women involved with. But now that we have these mobile games there and their little thing in their hand, they're playing more and more and more, and that's cool, right? So I think they have value.
Well, here's the thing I don't like about mobile games is that they don't end because you might turn a woman who's into Candy Crush, if it had a freaking end, into something else, and you graduate her up, and maybe she'd get into. But that's not their thinking. Is
It
more
isn't.
No,
about
it's
cash.
Well, that's not how
yeah.
women think anyway, Todd.
Yeah, but you know how many times I've had to beat a level for somebody? It's like ridiculous.
That's true. I've had to done that several times too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the game doesn't end. There's no end to Candy Crush.
No. No, but I mean, it's the type of thing that catches their fancy. You know what I mean? And that's all. Well, that's good. I have no problem with it. It's interesting that Apple is because you would assume after all of this time that Apple made a lot of games, but they don't. They just have their Apple Store and the whatever tens of thousands of apps that are on it. But them getting directly into it, I think it's cool. And look at the little stuff they're doing. They're doing like Frogger in Toy Town. They're doing Choo Choo Rocket and Ocean Horn too. These are fun little things. I'm sure lots of ladies will enjoy them. And I do play a little puzzle game here or there. If I have a couple on my thing, I play them if I sitting in a waiting room or something like that from time to time. But so they're not. It's not like they're bad. I think it's cool.
I only play versus games.
Oh, those like Raid or something like that. That's getting all that advertisement.
No, like I play golf or something like that. It's
Uh,
me against somebody that's on their phone.
no, I see. Yeah. Now I like the little
Yeah.
puzzle games like the kind of like the bubble games where you have to put the thing in the right place or uh,
Mhm,
those kind of
mhm.
things like that. But I rarely ever have time to play them though. If I have any time for play video game, I when I have to get time out of my schedule to do so, I'm going to be sitting in front of my PC and I'm going to be playing an MMO or some kind of city builder or something like that. I don't. That's what I spend my
Whoa,
time on video games.
I
So,
didn't know JP was in the house. Just
JT,
kidding.
JP is awesome. Dare disrespect JP. All right, moving along. Uh-oh, prepare to die. Oh, uh-oh. This is oh no, dude. Now I'm angry.
All right, this is from NME. Basically, they're reporting on this is a couple days news, but they're reporting on a possible Princess Bride remake. Apparently, one of the higher ups of some studio, I can't remember what, because it's regardless point that we're talking about the original producer of the Princess Bride, who still owns the rights to do Princess Bride, to remake it, and expectedly so, a lot of people don't want the Princess Bride to be remade.
God, no.
There's no
Lord.
point to remake it.
No.
Mhm.
No. This
He has
is
the guy actually said the most perfect thing, and he's he quoted basically himself from the movie where he
Hmm.
said, there's a shortage of perfect movies in this world. It'd be a shame to damage this one.
right.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Yeah,
I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but this movie, when it came out in theaters, did not make a lot of money. It
no.
just
so
became a cult classic. It's like
But
Rocky Horror Picture Show or something like that.
sure,
It's,
yeah.
you
sure.
know,
But it
it
became a cult classic almost instantly, dude.
yeah.
Almost instantly. By
But that's
'89, this was every university was having drinking games with it. Within literally 2 years, this was a cult classic.
but who's throwing darts at a board to go, let's remake, you know, just movies that don't deserve it. They don't need to be remade.
No, this movie's
How about
perfect just
show it?
as it is.
You
Yeah.
might make more money showing it in the theater all over again, and maybe do it with, so like you're saying, with games or
Mhm.
something. You probably would make more money that way than remaking this movie.
Well, there were a series of board games that came out for Princess Bride in the past 5 years, and they're fun. They're very
Yeah,
respectful too, but and they take different aspects. Like you have Vicini's Poison Cup game. It's cute, but no, this is a absolutely beautiful movie. Don't you dare touch it. There will be riots. I'm telling you. And just
Yes.
imagine what they'll do. Wesley will be the princess and the princess will be the Dread Pirate Roberts, right? I mean, that's what they'll do. They'll roll switch it, and everybody will be black or Latino, right? No,
Yeah.
they will,
Yeah.
right? This is
Oh yeah.
exactly what they'll do. And Eric says, "Oh, so if this is an interesting point actually. So if Apple buys Sony, the Spider-Man rights revert back to Disney, and
Hmm.
coincidentally, Iger left the board at Apple last week.
Oh yeah.
Backroom deals
Yes.
in progress, maybe. Interesting."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right, Eric. It is stupid. This is stupid news. Although Iggy's still alive. Just keep that in mind. Iggy Pop lives. There's still
he
hope
only
for the future. Next.
he only
God.
started. He only reached the age he looked recently.
Right? That's true. That dude has lived a hard life, man. Go ahead, Denali. What is this crap from Deadline?
So this is from Deadline. Tom Wellings to reprise his Smallville role as Clark Kent, and the upcoming Arrowverse crossover for the Infinite Earth and Crisis
Right.
deal. So those
Well,
who watch Superman and Smallville in the early 2000, hey, if you're still interested, he's back for a glorified cameo. That's not going to last more than a minute or so.
oh no, I'm sure.
Knowing these
And
guys.
boy, did they choose a very young picture of him because he doesn't look like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was in Lucifer recently, and yeah, he looks a lot older and
A
thicker.
lot older, yeah. And
But
that's cool.
one thing,
But
I was a huge Smallville fan. Huge. I mean, watched and rewatched.
mhm.
Smallville had a lot of those what I call aha moments, like aha, look what they just connected, and aha, look what they just did, and it made Mythos, the whole large picture of Superman, kind of make sense in a smaller. I mean, they brought a lot of things that happened in his life into his Smallville stage, which was really cool. The one thing they didn't do, and they were so against doing this, which is ridiculous. It probably could have lasted more seasons than it did, but they didn't want to put him in costume, and they didn't want to make him Superman. You know what I mean?
No,
They
they
didn't really
didn't.
want to
Yeah,
make him a
yeah.
full-on Superman.
They gave it at the end
And
a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right, as sort of a, here's their token view of what he looked like. But if they had, man, it just would have just grown. I don't know. I would have stayed with it. But yeah, I've watched every episode more than once.
Yeah, I like Smallville too. We enjoyed it as a family. The only thing in Smallville, Eric, that it didn't like was the little blonde reporter. She was annoying as
Chloe.
hell, dude. Yeah, Chloe. I couldn't
Chloe.
stand her, dude.
Yeah,
Everything else was good.
Wow.
I liked Lana Lang. I don't like the way they went with Lana Lang, but I mean, because Lois Lane must come in, I guess they had to. But
right.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was a fun show.
Yeah, and imagine what happened to Chloe now.
Oh, well, that's a whole
Wow.
nother conversation. Yeah, she became
Yeah.
quite the evil thing. But you could see it though. I mean, she was this festering evil back then, and she was so annoying, dude. I could not stand that character. My wife couldn't stand her either. Just this type. God, shut up. Sorry.
All right.
Erica Durance is the best Lois Lane ever, and so sexy. She was, dude. She was pretty good Lois Lane. I have to admit that's true. Of course, I'm a little partial to the original Christopher Reeve Superman, and what was the girl's name who played Lois Lane? She did a great job.
Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder. She did a great job, but I do agree the Smallville Lois was pretty good, and she did a great job. I liked a lot of the female characters on that show. Actually, it was just the Chloe I couldn't stand. Yeah, she is a nasty little thing. You're right. Allison Mack, the crazy sex cultist. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But this okay, whatever. Great. We get to see a shot of Tom again. Awesome. Ooh, getting tight on time. Next one.
Right. And then I think this is our last article.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Do we have crossover? No.
well, Disney is kind of holding off because they recently acquired knowledge that Apple is interested in buying Sony, which we
Hmm.
kind of talked about.
We did. Yeah.
And they're very interested to see if that deal goes through because, as I mentioned earlier, if Sony gets bought out by any company, Amazon, Warner Brothers, whatever, any other company, the rights that they hold for Spider-Man automatically reverts back to Disney. That means they will never have to pay another cent to anybody. It just automatically comes back and they
Mhm.
can use the character whatever.
Yep. So it
And
is
like
interesting. Yeah.
mhm. and like what I think Eric said or it was Nick, I wasn't sure. Was interesting that last week Bob Iger left the board of
Yeah.
director and now we're having this news pop up kind of deal.
I wonder, could Disney loan them the money too at the same time?
Yeah.
I mean, could it be this nefarious?
Yeah,
Dude,
that could be it.
do you remember all those years back? I mean, so long ago, where Bill
Oh,
Gates
oh,
gave Apple
that
the money to make iPod? Do you remember?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was
Oh,
surprised
that
too. I mean, because if he just let him die, but he didn't. He saved him, and of course
Hmm.
now Apple is as strong as ever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, which goes to the next news if you have that with Bob Iger.
I do. Yeah, yeah,
Jump over there.
yeah.
Because this is an interesting kind of comment from Mr. Bob Iger. He says if Steve Jobs were still alive, we'll have combined our companies. So when you're talking about loaning, maybe the strategy is that Apple buys Sony
Yeah.
and then Disney merges with Apple, and there you go. Happy hunting.
Oh goodness, that would be an interesting thing. I mean, Disney is just trying to take over the world, man. They really are. You get him, Bob. You devious little thing. You go,
Yep.
Bob. Whatever. But it is interesting development, isn't it? We've been watching this
Yeah.
debacle go back and forth, and this is an interesting twist to the story. Um, and honestly, Sony needs better management because that's what's been killing them. They've been losing money left and right on most of their movies, not all, but most of their movies and animations have been losing lots of money. There's been some very poor decisions. Their electronics division is on the floor. I mean, they're not even making computers anymore, right? And the only thing it's really been consistently profitable is PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting twist. It should be we'll be paying attention to see what happens, but I don't think Bob's an innocent little billionaire. I don't think so. Yeah,
No, you don't get that much billionaire without
that's true.
squeaking some deal. Nick says after Sony, Apple will buy Disney and Netflix in a few years, unless the bozos
Bezos,
Bezos get
Bezos. Yeah,
Bezos gets them first.
fair
Bezos
point.
probably wouldn't buy Netflix because they have Amazon Prime and they have those services. Most likely, Apple will buy Netflix and, like Bob Iger said, merge with Disney. It
Mhm.
will be Apple Disney.
Well, the interesting thing about Amazon is they're relatively quiet, aren't they? Even though
Yeah,
they are very, very close, and within a year or so of becoming the first $1 trillion company. But it's interesting how quiet they actually are because they're not ruffling feathers, they're not in the news hardly. They just keep doing what they're doing. But yet they're the biggest company on the planet right now, right?
yeah.
It's
I
interesting.
So
I just recently got Prime again, and I started watching something that no one's ever talked about. Granted, you guys have talked about The Boys quite a bit, but Carnival Row, you guys didn't get into Carnival Row?
I haven't seen it. I do have Amazon Prime, but I don't. I never watch it. It's my kids. They wanted it, so I pay for it. I pay for
Mhm.
Amazon Prime and I pay for Netflix. So
Hmm.
all right. So when they're talking about the streaming wars and everything that's going on, they and all these companies, basically, it's like the market's gonna push everybody to go back to one platform. And the one platform I see succeeding, funny enough, is Amazon Prime because they're just not offering just entertainment, but they're offering necessity
mhm.
with their delivery service and all that. You go to their website, you go get music, you go get, whatever, clothing, video games, etc., that these other companies like Apple, Disney are not able to offer. You want to get a T-shirt of your favorite character, go Amazon.
Yeah, that's
You have
true.
Amazon Prime, and boom, you don't have that. That's why I think, really, in the best interest, it would have to be Disney and Apple merging, and then finding another company that can do distribution for them. Which is why I think Disney was trying to connect with Target with
Ah,
those
yeah.
stores earlier. If you look at it in the bigger thing as well.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, Nixie. That's why I said a year or two. Talk about that $1 trillion mark. I would talk about consistently maintaining it. I just thought it was interesting that Amazon is the biggest company on the planet, but they're really quiet. They're not causing a lot of. They're not ruffling feathers. They're not. They're just staying out of the drama. But I'm waiting for them to hit. I think they're like a bushmaster sitting in the foliage waiting to strike you. You know.
Right.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I do see Edwin has come in. Hello, sir. And
Mhm.
hey, that Siege girl was pretty good, huh? I was really impressed with her last week. So hopefully we'll send someone over next week to you guys on the Jordan Quarter today, equally as cool. But interesting news, and I'm really glad today how well everything's flowed together in the storytelling, actually, of our news that we had. So thank you very much for doing that, Denali. Good job, man.
Mhm.
But It's been a fun show, guys. But I do need to jump because I have to go set up for the fan edition, of course. Please come and watch that. We do have a guest today. It's Wisdom Comes, and it's Cody Martinez. Although I've been told, hold on a second, that no, that is not
No.
happening. Maybe. Let me see here.
So
Yeah, here's a guy that I don't know if you remember, he was part of Indicom TV. He actually joined while he had a campaign going.
Hmm.
And so, as we go in a few weeks, I start looking to see what he's been doing with his campaign. And he was on a show in February for it. So it was a like he was getting on these things ahead of them, but during them, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, dude, you really gotta. And he had some interesting things that he does on his own YouTube. Um, But here's a guy, maybe he just doesn't have time for a lot of this stuff.
Hmm.
But his campaign, one thing it did do, it showed like the three times that he's gotten like a better colorist.
Hmm.
He showed a page, the same page, three different times, and like now I'm gonna put this out here again, and this hopefully helps it. And you know what? You're better off spending your time on something else, to be honest.
You know,
Um,
I'm sitting here reading what's going on in the in the Discord for today's Drawn and Quartered. I wonder if we in the next hour we might be able to get a hold of Billy Tucci.
why you want him to come on over there?
Let's do she, dude. That would
All
be
right, let
great.
me
It'd
reach
be
out.
awesome. It just came to my head because they're all sitting here panicking, just trying to decide what we're going to do today. And I just came to my head, what about Billy? We just had a great interview with him over on IndieCom TV, dude.
Let me find out. You can go ahead and end the show, and
I
I'll
will.
see if I can.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
we are going to figure it out. We will get something done. We got an hour, and we'll get it done for sure. Don't worry about it. And of course, I don't know where Pixel is. I know he's panicking though, so I need to go deal with this. But nevertheless, guys, thank you very much. Great show, a lot of fun. Always, always happy to have you guys in here with us, sharing all of your love and passion for the things we talk about. And we love you guys. So thank you very much. And Denali, take us out of here, sir.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for Comics News Today. Join us on Saturday at 8 p.m. for Fan Speak, and then TFT on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Join the Immortal Mass newsletter at dinalescomic@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I want to be on your newsletter, and I will put you in the newsletter. And as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, guys. Later.
Aloha.